Well, hello everybody. Today, welcome to Wednesday Wisdom actually. Today we're talking about anger. And I'm having difficulty with my camera today because it keeps falling over. So let's see if it stays up. And I have a puppy trying to get on my lap, so let's... Ooh. Alrighty. Today's topic is anger. And the reason I thought about that is because I've been seeing a lot of people get a little angry lately. Like my husband yesterday. We were driving down the road and there was a ambulance coming up from behind us. We moved over immediately and all the other cars around us just stayed where they were. And my husband got very upset and I had to calm him down and tell him, you know, not everyone is that cognizant, and realize that sometimes you just can't control other people's behavior. I mean, if bright lights and red things are flying or shining in your windows and a siren doesn't make you realize that someone's behind you, let that go, Michael. You can just let that go. Being angry will not fix it. But anger is basically happens when you feel, or when a person feels that they're being, I don't know, like their boundaries are being crossed, or that it's basically a perceived hurt, threat, and it's a natural instinct to be upset, to get angry. What I'm talking about today about anger is learning how to control that anger and to change your perspective so that you don't burst. See, anger is good. It really is. You need to express that type of thing. But when you have anger to the point where you can't control how you're thinking, it's too much. And the reason I say that is because anger basically makes you lose your objectivity. And you never want to really do that. If you get to the point where you can't be objective about a situation, you've let your anger take control. You've gone into your animalistic mode. And that's not something that an adult would like to go through or stay in. Now, think about children. When a child is upset, they get angry and they kick and they stomp and they kick their feet and they go into a tantrum. Why do they do that? Because they don't have words to express themselves. As adults, you have words. So you can get angry, but zen yourself down so that you can take control of your situation. Now, how would you do that? Well, everyone says, breathe deeply. Humana. Basically, what I do, and it's rare for me to get angry now because I've practiced this so much that anger is not even in my vocabulary anymore. But when that rage starts coming into you, you know, repeat something that slowly and calmly that will bring you back down. It won't always be this way, or take it easy, take it easy. Now, honestly, to tell you the truth, what I used to say, I can't fix stupid, I can't fix stupid. Which is a very negative thing to do, but I used to do that. I can't fix stupid, I can't fix stupid. And now you just go into lesser negative connotations of... The other thing that really helped me when I would get very angry, is I would just kind of turn from the situation and I would picture myself on a beach, somewhere calm. So either I would be sitting against a tree in a lavender field and have the lavender kind of blowing around me and smelling it actually, or I would be on the beach with my feet in the sand and I would feel and hear the waves crashing or the waves rolling over my toes and back out again. And I would breathe with the wave. Then I discovered yoga. And that's basically what they're doing. They're calming you down. And then when big situations would happen, I would just tap out and go take a hot bath. So do whatever you need in order to calm yourself down, because anger does no good for anyone. It was an animalistic instinct that we needed for the fight or flight type of modalities. There is nothing that can really occur in a normal lifetime, a normal day, that should cause you anger to the point where you can't think. Use logic. Now, the other thing is, as I just said, never. Don't use, when a situation like this happens, try not to use definitives. Basically, oh, this machine never works for me. Well, actually it does. It's just not working for you right now. You understand? Or, oh, she is always late. Well, that might be true, but is it something to be upset about? If you know that person's always late, expect it. Plan accordingly. In my case, I know people who are always late. They're always 15 minutes late. And so I don't rush to be there 15 minutes early like I normally would. So if we were meeting at 5 o'clock, I would be there by 4:30, 4:45. And then I would sit there all by myself and get upset that people aren't here. And then I realized, well, they're always going to be late. So instead of showing up 30 minutes early, I'd shift my time clock. I tell them for 5 o'clock, I know they're going to be there at 5:15. I show up at 5 o'clock. I'm still early. They're still late, but we're happy. Adjust. Use logic. And for those, I've heard things like, why is the world out to get me? No, the world's not out to get you. The world has ups and downs. You just happen to be in a down. And sometimes it's just a little blip of a down. It's not a big down. Change your perception. Anger is not your friend. It's good to use that instinct to get you out of a bad situation, but staying in that bad situation, that's your choice. If something gets to you all the time and it's basically always making you angry, get out of it. It's a choice. Life is a choice. And if you want to make a change in your life, you have to be that change. You have to. It all starts with you. For those of you who listen to this Facebook Wednesday Wisdoms often, I say it a lot. There's three things in the world. Those in your control, things in the other person's control, and that is in God's control. You're not God, you're not the other person, you are you. Only control the things you can control. And the things you control are things like your anger, right? Your emotions. Oh, she makes me. No one makes you. You choose. A person's actions may irritate you, but you choose to be angry. You can choose to be indifferent about it. You can choose to realize that that person always does that to you and move on. Find another way around it. Be like water. When something's in your way, either go around it, left or right, or if something is building up in front of you and you have no other way to get around it, go over it. There's always a way. Don't let anger be your controller. Oh, Stephen just put that icon, the thinking. But yeah, you control yourself. Don't let anything control you. You are your own island. Take care of you. Remember, anger is a perceived hurt or threat or crossing of a boundary. It's perceived. Your perception can take control of you. Don't lose your objectivity. And if you do, then realize that's what you're doing. Bring yourself to a Zen happy place. If you have to have waves crashing onto your little feet, toes, and playing in the sand, great. If you need to imagine yourself in the lavender field, great. If you need to have puppies crawling all over you, great. Do whatever you need in your mind to bring you out of that state. We are adults. You have words, and you don't need to act like a child who doesn't have the words and just have a tantrum. The world doesn't revolve around us. We all know that. And we know the world is somewhat not also kind. Realize that. Don't let it anger you. Find a way around it. It's a choice. Homework for your week. Find what angers you, and when it happens, try to bring it back down. Control it. Avoid using the definitives like never, always, and change your words to things like, once again, the machine is broken. Whatever you need to do. End of my talk today, but give you a heads up. This Friday, the 19th, January 19th, is my first radio show on 93.9 KCMJ. You can live stream on TuneIn Radio. It's an app. It also plays on the computer, but TuneIn Radio. Then look up 93.9 FM KCMJ. And you will find me on Friday at noon from now on. Hope to see you next week, Wednesday, with Wednesday Wisdoms. And as I get better at the radio show, I will tie them together. I will do a topic on Wednesday and then have my show correlate with it. And